Now, if you want to achieve some cool skills, don't waste time. This happens in all types of training, but it happens a lot in calisthenics and handstands. So today I'm going to go through 4 things that you can do to make sure that you're not wasting time. Number 1, mix balance and stretching. Now this happens a lot. We do our set, so our balance work, whatever that is, whatever we're working towards, and then we finish that, we grab our phone or we stand and we chat to people. Now I'm not saying don't do this, don't talk to people, but while you're doing this, instead do the same thing, but hang out in the stretched positions that you need to work on. So if I'm working straddle handstand, I'm also going to be working my straddle pancake while I'm resting. Now the stretching doesn't have to be done with your handstand balance. You could be doing it with your strength movements. So if you're working on your chin-ups, you could also be working on your flexibility for your quads, in your couch stretch, on your rest periods. But don't forget you can visit your flexibility positions during the day as well, and this is a great way to slowly increase your flexibility. So I could be hitting some stretches while I'm cleaning my teeth or while I'm waiting for a bus. Number 2, superset your strength. So I'd recommend that you're working your priority first, but then you superset it with an opposing muscle group, which is something that makes sense. So if my priority is planche, I can go into my planche hold first, make sure I get a good quality set, then go into my secondary movement, which could be the opposite, so into a front lever hold. And then I could even add a triple in. So instead of doing 2, I could go into a third movement, I could do a pistol squat, or I could do that flexibility work. So now I'm gonna hang out in this straddle good morning position and just hang here for time or do the good morning repetitions, but I'm resting my upper body while I'm here. So as soon as I finish this hold for my flexibility, I jump back in and do another planche set. So that's really cool if you're short on time and you just want your biggest bang for your buck when you're training. Now this one is super common. We need to make sure that we're using the correct progressions for our current level that takes us to the skill that we want to achieve. So maybe we've watched a cool YouTube video and it tells us that this exercise is going to help us for our handstand push-up. And we might become expert at this exercise, but we never get close to that handstand push-up. So it's just the wrong progression towards the skill we're trying to achieve. And more often the case is that we're training the wrong progression for our level. So we might have something like an eccentric freestanding handstand push-up, a fantastic exercise that fills the gap, shows you the pathway, works the balance, the strength needed for the handstand push-up. But if you're training that and you can't hold a freestanding handstand, so you're constantly here, you fall, you're not getting full range of motion, you're not getting any time under tension, it's the wrong progression for you. You should be doing that exercise against the wall, doing an eccentric here, so the balance is taken out of the picture. We can slowly work our time under tension, make sure we're getting a good full pathway, training the right muscles, and then we're also working on our freestanding handstand separately, and we can build that at the same time. That way, we're filling all the gaps and we're going to slowly progress towards that freestanding handstand push-up. So those correct progressions are probably the most important thing that you need to focus on. You need to know the progression that you can do today for the skill that you're trying to achieve. You need to know the next progression, so what's the next step when you're ready for it, and also what's the easier progression on the day that you're not feeling so good. Maybe your balance is off, maybe you're not so strong, and you just need to knock it down to a slightly easier variation. So at minimum, 3 progressions towards the skill you're working towards, so you can ride the edge of that depending on how you are each session. Then number 4, we need to train the skill, not the accessory. So if we want to train something like chin-ups and we look at the elbow flexion and think, okay, elbow flexion is bicep, we should be doing bicep curls as an accessory movement to this. That's fine, and it will make your biceps stronger, but for 1, it's an open chain movement, so I'm moving the barbell, I'm not moving my body. And 2, it's not developing and strengthening the lats and the torso connection to the arm, the opening of the chest, that's so important for that chin-up movement. So instead I'll be working progressions that are more related to the chin-up itself, like eccentrics or rows, as these are going to carry over way more to that chin-up type movement instead of just making your biceps bigger. So there's nothing wrong with accessory work, but I would be doing 90% of the real thing as close as you can to it, making sure that you're doing the correct progressions for the exercise and your level. I would be supersetting an opposing muscle group and fill your rest times with stretching. Now, if you're after coaching, if you need help with your progressions, check out my website, www.paultwyman.com.au. I have my app, link is down in the description. Drop any questions or comments below, and I'll speak to you in the next one.